Yo, 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 it is P.
And it's your boy Cody from the Lit, and this is
Kill
Kill the Comment Section. Yes, sir, man. This is episode 3, man, again, bro. You know what I'm saying? This is just, we finally getting into it, bro. This is our 3rd episode, man, and I'm really excited for today, man. Today we got a Grammy nominated, Grammy winning, you know what I'm saying, mixing engineer, audio engineer, in general, just all around, bro. Just a GOAT, man. To be honest with you, man, he didn't work with Joe, Linkin Park, Leela James, G Unit, shit, The Roots, just to name a few, man. This is my guy, OG, Mr. Ray Wilson, man. How you doing today?
What's happening, y'all? I'm good, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Justin Timberlake, though.
Oh shit!
Oh, yes, sir.
Oh shit!
JT.
I am sorry. That's something you can't forget. I am sorry.
Nah, man. Yeah, that was the first Grammy win.
See, I didn't even know that. I was doing my little research yesterday, and I did not see that. I wish I.
Yeah, so it's a funny story behind that too.
Yeah.
So the record that I did that with Carmen Hagen's Ivan Barrios, they were partially responsible for Music Soul Child's records.
Okay.
From A Touch of Jazz.
Yeah.
From that whole camp with the two of them, Vidal Harris, Andre Harris, Vidal Davis, and Keith Pelzer and Darren Henson.
Gotcha.
And we got a call. They got a call to do Justin's record, some records, because he did a couple with some other producers, but this was like in the middle of like the whole Neo Soul era. Everything was hot right now. It's like 01, so it's the first album. And we did a couple of records, and I think we did 3. And like there was just some stuff on the back end where the record didn't get picked for the domestic release.
Yeah.
But it's on the Australian and the Japanese releases, I think.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So you'll never, like, unless you find it on like YouTube or somewhere, you'll never, like, it's not gonna be on any streaming service. Trust me, I checked.
For sure.
But it's called Worthy Of, and it's a dope record.
That's dope as hell, man. I'm glad you told me that, bro. And what's crazy is people don't even know, like, the albums that they get overseas is gonna be kind of different from what they get, like he said, domesticated. Like there's I believe one of the producers I used to work with, he worked with NSYNC, and the European album was the album he was on, but the domesticated one he wasn't on. So it's a
situation.
It actually works, but that actually happens. So that's dope, bro.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get into it, man. How did you get into music? Like what made you get into this?
Man, I wish that I had like an answer for you.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell you what my story is.
Yeah.
But I don't know that there was, like, everybody asked that question, to like anybody in music or in film or whatever. It's like, how'd you do this? And it's like, because nobody cares like about how a doctor was like, I had this moment one day and I just like immediately wanted to cut people open.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
But it was like, I've always been a huge fan of music.
Mm-hmm.
And music ran deep in my family. So my dad's best friend was Miles Davis, the store manager. My sister was really close. I'm from Philly, so she was really close with Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince.
Yeah.
And was hanging out with them. So she wound up being around a lot of the hip hop artists of like the late 80s, early 90s. Public Enemy, Kid and Play.
Hard.
Run DMC. LL, there's a funny story about L that I can't tell. So it was really cool. And then even the Philly cast, like, EST and 3 Times Dope.
Yeah.
And some of those other guys. But, like my parents said that when I was a baby, like the only album that would like soothe me was Songs in the Key of Life. So, like, into this day, that's like still, if I'm in a mood, just kind of in an off state, that's what I go to.
That's dope.
And
man.
Like the first, it's 2 albums, it's a 2 LP album. So by the time I get through like the first 4 or 5 songs, which is like side A of 4, I'm usually in a better state. Yeah. But I skip Gangsta's Paradise all the time. Like, I can't stand that song. But it's just been overused, and like the Coolio version just kind of ruined it for me.
Yeah.
But when I went to school, I was a film student.
Okay.
So I've always had like this affinity for like visual and auditory creative art.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, your eyes and your ears, they stimulate your brain and your imagination in a way that none of your other senses do.
Facts.
Right? Like you can smell something and be like, oh man, like I remember like when I was at my grandmother's house and she was making, chicken, but she also made, this.
Yeah.
And you can like go back to that.
Yeah.
Right? But you can't smell anything and have a vision of what that is. Like you can't create. You smell an apple pie and it's like, oh man, that's like an incredible, I don't know, piece of cornbread.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
But with your eyes and your ears, it stimulates just different parts of your brain to do that. So for me, like as a film student, I always had this attachment to music.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, growing up, like the people that I was around and that my family was around and that my dad exposed me to, like even growing, when I was a kid, like hip hop was something I explored. Like, a lot of parents when in the 80s and early 90s when hip hop was still kind of new, they were still listening to like contemporary R&B.
Facts.
Right?
Yeah.
Which is at the time you're probably thinking like Billy Ocean and
Motown stuff.
Well, yeah, the Motown stuff still too. Yeah, Billy Ocean. The Commodores had some records. Cool in the Gang. Like those are the cats that they listened to. So hip hop, was definitely youthful for us. So we explored them on our own. But my dad was like a big jazz head. Yeah. So he would, the standards, Miles, Coltrane, Cannonball Adderley. Yeah. So all of those guys. But I remember he brought home like a Neville Brothers album. I think it was Live at Tippy Tina's. And like I fell in love with that. Yeah. Like nobody else in like fourth grade knew who the hell the Neville Brothers were. But I was like loving their project. Yeah. It was just dope. So in the Steely Dan, like I grew in like in Steely Dan. And that's one of my favorite. Asia is one of my favorite albums. Yeah. That's like if you go down a list of perfect albums, I believe that's one of those perfect albums.
Say the name again for the people, man.
It's Steely Dan Asia. And there's a record on there called Black Cow. And if you go back to you've heard the Lord Tariq and Peter Gunn's song Uptown Baby?
Yeah.
They sampled that record.
Okay.
So
got you.
But yeah, so being a film student, I decided I was going to go. I started as a theater student, and that's what got me into the Philadelphia High School of Creative and Performing Arts. Yeah. And that's where like Boyz II Men came from. Questlove and Black Thought went there. And Amel LaRue from Groove Theory went there. Yeah. So it's a lot of people that came from that school. I wasn't going for that. I was going because this is the only place where I could do what I thought I want to do for the rest of my life.
For sure.
So what it really turned into is I get there and I'm studying theater, but I end up doing a lot of technical stuff. So I'm, running sound for different shows, for the dancers and even our plays that we were doing. My theater teacher actually had me scoring plays. Like you never have that, right? You have musicals, but you never have like a score. Yeah. So I'm pulling out music that matches almost like a music supervisor. Yeah. That matches these particular scenes and the transitions and things like that. So even on our black box, we had like a little audio system. I'm sitting there, and it was just like a home stereo almost. Okay. So I'm sitting there like hitting the CD player and turning the knob, the big old knob. But like that's where all of that came from, and I started focusing more into film. Yeah. As that went on. But I'm also meeting a lot of people, hanging out with a lot of singers, our vocal majors, our instrumental majors. Yeah. So like, I became super close with Bilal. Bilal's my brother, like,
y'all know who Bilal is.
Like that's my guy. That's, and Jaleel Shaw, who's an incredible saxophonist. And there are some other musicians that came out of there and some other singers that weren't as, that aren't as known. Yeah. But those are who I was hanging out with. Yeah. More so than the theater students. So it was like the film nerds and then these guys, like the musicians. Yeah. So fast forward, I'd always wanted to be a DJ. So in fifth grade, I'm getting my little allowance. Instead of going and buying whole albums, I'm buying 12 inches. right? I don't have turntables.
Yeah.
I just knew one day I'm a DJ. And these records are dope. Like, you know, Time for Some Action is dope. Tonight's the Night is dope. I'm going to buy that.
Yeah.
You know, Common's record, Take It Easy was dope. I bought 2 copies of that. You know, these are just 12 inches.
Yeah.
And I'm just holding them. I know one day I'm going to use them. Yep. So, you know, I started DJing in college, wound up in a group with my best friend from childhood, who's still my guy now. What up, Kurt? And I became their DJ.
Yeah.
I started working with their producer. He started teaching me how to make beats. And then, like, I started recording. It was a rolling hard disk recorder. It was, like, brand new at the time, you know, new technology. So he's teaching me that. And it's just coming to me real quick. So he was like, yo, you should go learn how to be an engineer. Right. I was a film student at Temple, and I was, you know, DJing at the time still. And I'm getting locked out of my favorite class, which is a sociology of race and racism class. Yeah. I got a 10:10 in the morning. That's over like 11:15. I hop on the subway, go downtown, grab lunch. Because my next class, you know, the sociology classes are like 2:45. For sure. Grab some lunch, run to the record store, dig through. Yeah. Go back to class, right? Bag full of records in my backpack, whatever. And it got to a point where I was spending more time in the record store than I was in class. So I was down there hanging out, talking to people, meeting new people, you know, trying to figure out what's coming out next. They holding stuff for me, and getting back to the, you know, class later and later and later and later. Yeah. Got to the point where my professor was like, you need to get to class on time. And I was like, okay. Yeah. The next time I did it, the door was locked. You know? Yeah, man. And then it I got a little bit better. I was like, all right, I got it. Got a little bit better. And you know, went right back downhill. Yes, sir. So I finished that year, and I was talking to, you know, my parents. I was like, look, I like this engineering thing. I want to explore it more. Yeah. And there was a school in Philly that did it, but I think they had just closed, like the Art Institute. And like they were going through whatever and wound up closing, or their program fell through or something like that. And I was told about two places. I think I did some research somehow, and it was Full Sail, in Florida, and the Conservatory for recording in like Arizona. Gotcha. I was like, I'm not going to Arizona for sure. I don't like being hot. Yeah. Yeah. On me. You know? But I went to Full Sail. Gotcha. Came out, and like that was my journey, man. Like that's how I got there. That's dope. And got to this point. Left Full Sail, went back home to Philly. Gotcha. You said something. Just because of the I guess the time period we're in, like being able to go physically to a record store, being able to actually dig through the crates, find something that you not necessarily, I'm not even gonna say, because I feel like promotion was different back then, but you didn't necessarily have to go for the records that was actually pushed into your face. You could actually go and discover some shit. Yeah. My only experience with something like that is being able to go to like Circuit City or something like that and be able to go through the album, just CDs, not even like records, but just CDs, and just, you know what I'm saying, and be able to look at the different covers and just kind of imagine what the music looked like. So that's dope. I feel like it's crazy that the generations after this will not be able to, you know what I'm saying, even be able to do that. It's obsolete now. Yeah, for a fact. Well, I mean, you know, vinyl's making a comeback. Yeah. Cassettes are making a comeback. Okay. But right now they're niche. Right. You know, are they expensive too? They are. Yeah. Because they're trying to sell them in like this, I think it's 160 gram, like collector's edition. Yeah. You know, like, so they're not at the point where people are pressing records again, so that you have these records. Yeah. They're pressing them so that you can spend the premium for them. You know, the artist, the label make more money. Yeah. But, you know, you have a record that you spent, you know, $60 for a Taylor Swift record. Yeah. You know, Kind of Blue's been reissued on this like 160 gram, and that shit is like $100. That's crazy. But I understand it though, because just like 3 copies of that shit. Just because of the way that the industry has gone, it's like physical copies. Look, I'm not gonna say physical copies, but just the act of buying music has just like declined crazily. It has.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's been a long and calculated process in my opinion. You know, but there's also part of it that was accidental and nobody saw coming.
Got you.
Right. So you have the invention of the MP3, which evolved from, you know, other digital file formats.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you have like these standard formats that are used, and those are considered what we in the industry call lossless audio.
Okay.
Right. So you don't have any degradation in that file.
Yeah.
What you have with MP3s is a lossy file. So the way MP3s work, they basically take whatever the audio file is,
for sure,
and then they take things out of it that the system can predict. So the bits that it doesn't necessarily feel like it needs, it drops those and relies on the playback unit or device software to fill those gaps in. And that's how you go from, you know, 150, you know, meg file down to, you know, 7.
It's crazy.
Right. So it was the invention of the MP3, or the creation of the MP3, which created digital players.
Yeah.
Right. So you have your mini disc and your CDs and things like that. Your CDs weren't MP3s, but you know, you start to move from like that physical space of CDs and LPs and cassettes into this digital realm. So once you have that, you're playing them back on a computer.
Right.
And then people start downloading from Napster and LimeWire and everywhere else, right? And they say that's what killed the music industry. It's not. You know, the fact that people were sharing music didn't kill the music industry, because in all honesty, part of it, those files were trash.
Yeah.
Like the audio quality sucked. But it also allowed you to discover new music.
Facts.
In a way that's evolved into what we have today, right? With the playlists and
streaming,
you know, everything on streaming.
For sure.
But I think the way it went from there, you know, you had these dedicated players like the iPod and so forth. That's essentially how like that physical space died.
Yeah.
Because it was like, we're making it easy for people that build these collections by actually purchasing their MP3s and playing them on a device that they can carry around in their pocket. It's the coolest thing in the world for people like me, where it's like I filled up like an iPod in like 6 months.
Yeah.
Right? You know? Like I had to like regularly clear my hard drive on my computer, so I had more, you know, to
for sure. Yeah.
And I mean, it was dope. That was a time.
Yeah.
You know, because like you're walking around and like you've got this situation where you meet somebody or you're sitting on the bus with your friend, and it's like you hand them your headphone, you know, and y'all are listening to the same thing.
Yeah.
Or, you know, you just swap iPods, you know, for the ride, like, you know, class trips and stuff like. So you have all of those things, those different experiences. But as we got into a point where buying the music became buy a subscription and rent the music. Even in the early days of that with Spotify, because they're the ones that pretty much led that movement, it was cool.
Yeah.
Because artists were still being signed to labels, they still had budgets. It was, you know, it was dope. But there were still CDs out there.
Yeah.
Right? When Tidal came along and eventually Apple Music, and I think Deezer was out and SoundCloud, like all these things started to come, it became, oh, we can make more money if we lease the music to you.
Yeah.
You know, and that was really the end of it.
Yeah.
Like you're not buying music anymore.
Nah.
You're buying a service.
Yeah.
You're borrowing somebody else's library. Right. You know, they talk about, you know, you have your whole musical library in your pocket or in your phone or in the cloud. It's not yours.
It's not at all.
Yeah.
Like my dad, he's very slow to adopt new technology.
Understood.
Which, no, I don't understand it. He's like,
I mean, with certain things, I understand it. You know what I'm saying?
He's like, he had a Motorola phone for like 6 years.
See, that I don't understand.
but then he finally bought an iPhone after my daughters guilted him into it.
Yeah.
And it sat in the box for 6 months.
Shit.
I'm like, dog, what are you doing right now? Like, the kids are trying to FaceTime you. Like, what are we really doing?
Not ready to change.
No, but he's got a wall full of CDs at the house.
Okay.
And he reached out to me last year, and he was like, I think I'm ready to, figure out what to do, how to move this music, because he wanted me to rip all the CDs. And I was like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Who has time for that?
No.
But he was like, but I'm also looking at these different services, which one's the best. But he was also like, I don't want to lease the music, or I don't want to rent the music or have a subscription, because it's not mine.
Yeah.
If they take it off the service,
they do,
which I've experienced. Yeah.
Yeah, that shit is trash.
There's a record that a friend of mine, Leslie Brathwaite, did for David Guetta and Rita Ora, and Gunna is on it. It's called Big. And I used to use that record as a reference. And I think I went to Tidal, and it's not there anymore.
Wow.
It's one of the, so he had a valid point.
Yeah.
And that's the first time I noticed it and actually cared. But I didn't have an answer for him. I was like, that's the way it is now. You don't even have enough space on your iPhone to hold all of those records.
That's a fact.
Yeah. Like, it's not designed for that anymore. So yeah, that's how everything, kind of fell apart.
Got it. Just to piggyback about the technology conversation with your pops, you see the introduction of AI into the music industry. How do you feel about that? Do you think it's gonna help or hinder the business? Well, let me say this: not help or hinder it, because it could do either or. But is it? Because we have this thing about gatekeeping now. Do you think it's just gonna make everything easier for somebody who doesn't necessarily have the skills or the talent of somebody else who's been putting in years of it? You know what I'm saying?
So you're talking about as a creative tool?
Yeah, for sure. Or any that way, but
all right. So we can start as a creative tool, because that's the big topic, right? To me, I think that it will do nothing more than everybody being able to buy an interface and record their own music.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Steven Spielberg said in an interview in the 80s when camcorders became a thing, when anybody could buy one. Mm-hmm. And in the interview, he was asked how he felt about everybody being able to buy, a camcorder and create their own movies. And was he worried about it? And he was like, no. Mm-hmm. Because what's going to happen is you're going to have more people telling stories, and those that are good, they'll rise up. They'll have opportunities that those that aren't.
Yeah. Right.
It's whatever for them. Yeah. Right. So he wasn't worried about it. So I kind of look at AI as a creative tool in the same way.
Gotcha.
Right. I can sit there and I can create an AI band or an AI artist, and it's happening now. Like, it's a genre of music, legitimately, not just, on how you've seen certain places or certain platforms monetize it and sneak it in and that kind of thing. Like, it's an actual genre of I think it's called A-pop or something like that, where it's AI artists.
Yeah. So
I think that if you learn how to utilize it the right way, then I think it's cool.
Okay.
Like me, as a producer, when I do have a few minutes, if I was gonna do that, I was a drummer. I program drums. I sample, but it's hard for me to create melodies. I can come up with the idea and the progression, but then when you start talking about putting chords in it and minor thirds and all of this stuff, I didn't study music theory.
Yeah.
So it's cool. If there's something out there, and I can be like, oh, I need a chord for this and a chord for that, and here's my progression. Help me figure out how I want to. This is the progression, this is the feeling I wanted to have, so forth and so on. And I can describe it or upload what I have, and it can say, oh, well, do this, this, and this, and here's your inversions. you know, and then, if, you know, for the bridge, you can transpose, you know, if it can do all of that,
yeah,
and I'm using it as a tool, great. Like there's, I think, Output has a product that will listen to your beat, and it will go through its catalog and it will identify the samples or the loops that it believes fits. And you still got to go through and like check it out.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's a, you know,
it definitely does simplify it a little bit for you.
and it makes you a little quicker, right?
Yeah.
It allows you to have a greater volume of work in your discography, your catalog, your body, whatever. And also gives you the opportunity to do things that you could not, you know, get over the hump on, or you could never figure out.
Yeah.
As an assistant, I use AI every day.
Okay.
Claude, ChatGPT, you know, I use those on a regular basis. You know, I talk to them like they're friends of mine. Yeah. You know? Like, yeah, nah,
that's crazy. You can, for real.
Like sometimes it's a voice chat, you know, sometimes it's text, because I'm always, the way my brain works, I'm always researching something. Yeah. I always have multiple projects going. So it helps me keep my ideas in place. And then it's like, if I have a question, it's like, hey, I need to do this, this, and this. Right. It can tell me, okay, well, you got to do that, that, and that. Right? It can break it down for me in a way that I'm just looking at it. You know, I've got big rocks and small rocks, but then those small rocks are made of something. Yeah. Right. Or it's sand that goes into, you know, in the bucket, and you got to figure out what that sand is, because you can't fill the bucket of rocks without the sand. For sure. Right. It can help me break all that stuff down. It can help me, you know, speed that stuff up. Right. There's a tool I use. I don't have an assistant. Okay. So all of my session prep, when I get files from artists, I have to go through and do all of that myself. So loading everything in, renaming it, color coding it, putting it in the right folders, you know, all of those things that allow me to be efficient when I'm mixing, that's hours of work. Yeah. You know, as fast as I am, I've been doing this 20 years, over 20 years. And the majority of it has been in Pro Tools. As fast as I am, I can't go through 40 tracks of audio one, audio one underscore one, audio one underscore one, dupe one. Like, you know, I don't know. Number one, please don't send your mix engineers that. Like, name your tracks. Please. Because I got to go through, you know, 20 tracks of background vocals to figure out which are my lows, which are my mids, which are my highs. Oh, this section is that section, and this side of the track is that section. So now I got to break this and something else, and then read. So all of that to make it orderly for me. There's a product I found. It's called Forte, and I love it. So because I have to do all that myself, it's so time consuming. Like, I usually do that the night before I mix, so that way I'm not sitting here for 2 hours cleaning it up, and then got to deal with, you know, getting my bass mix, and then starting to really dial it in and trying to do all of that in the same day. Yeah. Because it gets old, it gets tiring, you get tired of the song. So when I was in LA for NAMM earlier this year, I ran across this product called Forte. Yeah. And Forte is dope because it's all AI. Gotcha. So I one time set up, I put in all my inputs, my outputs. You know, it sees my template. You know, I mean, I built out my folders, my folder structure, my routing and everything. And now I just create my session in Pro Tools, open Forte, drop all the files into that. Mm-hmm. It automatically identifies what they are, names them for me, puts them in the right colors, sets the outputs on them, puts them in the right folders. Yeah, it's a hell of a time saver. And then it takes it, when I hit the button, once everything is right, it goes into Pro Tools, it sets the session up, strip silence, all in maybe 2 minutes. That's crazy. And then I can start mixing. Yeah. In 2 minutes. That's crazy. And I can start mixing. That's crazy. So Forte, keep going, please. All right. Cause I ain't gonna lie, man. I'm not gonna say I was against AI. I was against AI as a I guess, in the sense of somebody I know for a fact isn't as talented. They'll literally take what they've done, put it in AI, and then get some dope shit back.
I've literally seen it.
But I mean, you know,
Take away the creativity.
Yeah, but like the thing about it is, and I tell artists all the time, you're going, and that goes back to the Steven Spielberg thing,
Yeah.
right? But you're only as good as you are authentic.
That's a fact.
Right?
Yep.
So if you're writing records that are not who you are, like you're writing for the masses or you're writing for, you know, for clout or whatever it is, eventually you'll be seen through.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the Emperor's New Clothes.
That's a fact, yeah.
So, which the only reason I have that reference in mind right now is because of Raekwon. He just dropped it out last night, and that's what it's called.
Got you.
But that's what it comes down to. Eventually, somebody will be like, "Yo, that's not right.
Nah,
like,
fact.
why is that kick sound like that?
Yeah.
You know, why is that so perfect?
Fact.
You know, and
be exposed.
Yeah. You know, and nobody wants that.
That's a fact.
You know, but and the thing about it is, if artists are doing and producers are doing that to get a bag, and they get it, they're happy.
Yeah.
They don't care how they got it.
Yep.
You know,
that's a fact.
And you know, that's a whole different topic.
Yeah, it definitely is. So, everybody who really, I feel like, pursues this line of work or passion, people usually call it a pipe dream, and usually it comes with its own set of challenges. So what were some of those challenges that you faced on your journey getting to where you wanted to be?
My family.
I got a lot.
Felt that. Yeah. Oh my God.
Definitely.
So it was a little bit of a battle to go to Full Sail and to get my parents' support, because I wanted to go as a film student first when I graduated from high school.
Yeah.
And my parents looked at the cost and they were like, "Yeah, we can't do it."
Yeah.
A year later, when I brought it up, they were like, "Okay, we'll figure it out."
Yeah.
And they did. And I really do appreciate that. But when I came out, I had to intern. Made no money interning.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm back home, you know, with either my dad or my mom. I forget where I was living at the time. You know, no real money in my pocket. Because the thing of it is, even like when you're interning and you're assisting, everybody's like, you're not making enough money to sustain your lifestyle necessarily. And mind you, this is years ago when Pro Tools was really starting to become the standard.
Yeah.
Like, we're still recording on tape, right?
Shit.
And so when you don't have work on this particular day, you don't work.
Right.
Right? You know, you might get called in, but more than likely you're not working. And when I wasn't making a ton of money, you know, I was still interning, I had a lot of my family members trying to convince me to do something else.
Yeah.
You should have something else going on.
Yeah.
Right? Go get a job at CVS and, you know, work on those off days.
Yeah.
And it's like, I can't do that because I don't know what my off days are.
Facts.
I don't have a schedule.
Yeah.
It's, you know, week by week. These are the people coming in. You're assigned to that. Joey, you're assigned to that. Mark, you're assigned to that. All right, cool. That's going to change next week.
Yeah.
I might have to work all 5 days.
Facts.
You know, and I can't go to like, you know, well, you still part-time. I can't go to my manager and be like, "Hey, I got to go do a session with Justin Timberlake at 1 o'clock. So I'm only good for the first day, you know, first half of the day. But I only found out about that session yesterday."
Yeah.
You know, like that doesn't work. You can only do that so many times before they fire you.
Yeah, that's a fact.
So that was the biggest challenge when I first started.
Yeah.
I think the mindset shift was the second hardest. So I'm and you talked to me at length. I'm a very humble and modest person.
Yeah.
I'm just getting into understanding my musical lineage, which, I mean, A Touch of Jazz, Jazzy Jeff, Questlove, Gordon Williams, who was the executive producer for Lauryn Hill's album.
Yeah.
You know, the Fugees, did a bunch of production for KRS-One. Like, so all of these individuals that are friends and mentors, these are like the people that I come from. I'm just realizing that.
Yeah.
Like for me, it's like, oh yeah, I was talking to Amir the other day, and people are like, who the hell is that? And I was like, oh, Questlove. Because I don't name drop, but it's like these are friends of mine, so I had these conversations. So the mindset shift for me was, was two of them in my career, right? So this is one of them. This is recently, in the past couple of years, where it's like, I'm not new to this. Yeah. And I'm not somebody who is average or, should be quiet about it.
Right.
So I've learned how to, as a friend of mine says, talk my shit.
Yeah.
But still do it in a way that's humble and modest and respectful.
For sure.
But it's almost the inverse of when I was early on. Yeah. Like I had a goal when I first started in the industry was I want to win a Grammy. I wanted chief engineer of the studio, and I wanted to work with the Roots. I accomplished all three of those in the first 2 years of my career.
That's fire.
That led me to, and I never had an I know it all attitude. Yeah. But it gave me this sense of confidence that was, it was a false confidence. Okay. I stood behind all of that. Yeah. Right. That this is who I am. Yeah. Right? I'm this guy. Like, instead of knowing who I really was. Yeah. And mind you, I got in the industry at like 21, 22. And you have no clue who you are.
Not at fucking all.
But
oh my God.
That became my identity. So I started, even the people I was working with, my attitude and approach changed. Yeah. I would crack jokes that weren't really appropriate or funny. Mm-hmm. Like they were almost condescending. Yeah. Right. And, there's a situation that happened. I was working with an artist, and it was around the time, I forget what song it was, but Jay was like, 50 grand, I get this on one take. Mm. And me and the artist were cool. We were working on his project. Like, he was an artist that was popular in the 90s. Mm-hmm. And this is like 05. So he's done stuff, but he hasn't done anything as big as the record he had early on that brought him up to everybody. Gotcha. Yeah. And we were cool. We were working every day for like a month. And I cracked the joke when he went in the booth to go do this record. I was like, 50 grand, you get this on one take. And like that joke that I thought was funny, that I thought was, we were cool. Yeah. It was something that triggered him in a way, to where he didn't like it. And I don't know if he thought I said, you don't get it on one take, or what it was. Yeah. But that wound up getting back to who I was working for. And it eventually, that plus, the rest of those behaviors that I was starting to exhibit, lost me that job. Yeah. But more importantly, it lost me that relationship. Facts. Right. And it was a couple of years later when I moved to Atlanta, and I'm really kind of trying to find my way again, because I worked with some people in Atlanta before when I lived down there. Mm-hmm. But I moved officially and trying to tap in with them again, that I remembered I was almost humbled. Yeah. Because a friend of mine called me. He was like, hey, I know a guy that wants to open a studio. He's going to finance it. I'm going to run it. I'm going to run the business side of it. This is your room. Tell me what you need. We'll get the budget. Whatever you need to do, you got it. I'll make sure it's booked, so forth and so on. So we moved to Atlanta. 2 weeks after we got there, I got a phone call that the financer's wife was divorcing him. Mm. I just unboxed my house. Yeah. That's crazy. Right? So I had to go back on the move looking for work. Yeah. I'm in Atlanta, right? I've been here before. I was here for months, and I worked at Doppler for a little while, met a bunch of people. I forget what Doppler is now.
It's Doppler. I love Doppler. Shout out to Doppler. Y'all some good people up there, man. Yeah.
Dope, man. Like, and I love being there. Yeah. I was there. There's a guy, Jason Rome, who's a producer. He had a suite in the back, so I spent a lot of time working there. Wound up doing some work. Brian Michael Cox was in the room right next to him. So I got cool with Brian. Brian's cousin was doing a bunch of stuff. I started doing some production. And like there were some opportunities that were coming up, you know, that I might have been a fit for. And that's how I wound up at Doppler. And I love the guy, the team over at Doppler. But I mean, and that was actually key because when I got back to Atlanta, I'm calling people that I've worked with at Doppler, and I'm calling people that I worked with in other studios.
Yeah.
But I'm also calling places like Patchwork and Stankonia, and they're like, we don't have paid positions, but you can intern. I just moved to Atlanta. I don't have a job.
Need that paper, baby.
I can't work. Right.
Yeah.
So I call somebody else I know who's a producer's manager, and I won't share their names.
Yeah.
And this is why I talk, and this is where like me being dumb comes into play, and the humility thing. Now, so even though I had a reason to turn down work or internships, that carried over into opportunities, right? So I called this producer, the manager, and I'm like, yo, just moved back to Atlanta. He's like, oh, word, how long you been here? Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, he's like, what you doing? I was like, I'm trying to find some work. What y'all got going on? He was like, man, we can probably get you something. But let me, why don't we just go grab lunch? And I was like, all right, cool. I hung the phone up, right? In my mind, I'm like, yo, I don't want lunch. I don't want a handout.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need you to take me to lunch. I just, me. Like, just, yo, when is the session?
Understood. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it wasn't until years later that it hit me. That lunch was that conversation.
Yeah.
That lunch was the reconnection.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it didn't hit me at whatever age I was. I think I was like might have been 25, 26.
Yeah.
That me always hear about people take, let's do lunch.
Yeah.
Like it's this whole industries in LA, all they do is cater to business lunches.
Thanks.
Yeah, that's it.
My head wasn't there.
Yeah.
So that was like when I talk about mindset and shifting, that's it. That's key, right?
Yeah.
Like I had to have that mindset shift to understand that, oh, wait a minute. He was trying to help me.
Yeah.
He didn't have pity on me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It wasn't like, oh, dog, you ain't got no money. Let's go grab lunch.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
It wasn't that. It was, yo, let's sit down and talk.
Yeah.
Figure it out. So.
I think it's dope that you, a lot of people don't understand in this industry how important relationships are. Relationships really just by themselves can bring you opportunity outside of just being in a room and being around the right people. Them relationships are something serious, which is one of the reasons why I'm so confused at the state of the industry that we in, because there's a lot of people that seem like they're at odds, and it's a lot of people with shows like these that are talking shit about other people that are in the industry and active and actually can block your way into something. So I just don't get a lot of this stuff. But I honestly think it was dope how you ended up realizing it and end up making a change, you know what I'm saying? And end up being one of the people that can be like, oh, I need to work on my humility, and
Yeah, and I was forgiven almost immediately by everyone that I talked to.
Yeah.
And it's not like when I say almost immediately, it was just like I could tell when they were like, "No, you good."
Yeah.
That it was legitimate, right? It wasn't like, "All right, nigga."
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, you're right. Relationships are everything in this.
Yeah.
It's a very small business.
It really is, bro.
And like I had to explain to my daughters the pool of Grammy winners. Like when I got my first certificate, because I didn't order them until I had somewhere where I was going to hang them up.
Facts.
Right. So I didn't have them when I was living with my parents or in an apartment or traveling, So when I built my house, I was like, I'm gonna finally order my plaques and my awards.
Yeah.
And when my first certificate came in, my daughters are like, oh my God, that's so cool. Da, da, da. And I think my youngest, who might have been like 5 or 6 at the time, she asked me, she's like, so does everybody get one of these? And I was like, no, it's not like a participation trophy.
Yeah.
And I had to explain the size, the magnitude from everybody that plays football to everybody that plays in college, to everybody that plays in the league, to everybody that plays in the playoffs, to everybody that plays in the Super Bowl, to everybody that wins the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's such a right. So this industry is very, very, very small.
Yeah.
And relationships, just like in life, man, like, you know, if you're good people, you're good people.
Facts.
Right.
You know, I'm drawn to people with good energy. I think most of us are. For whatever reason, in the past few years, I've been more receptive to that.
For sure.
And it's like where growing up, I had to like kind of get to know you.
Yeah.
Now it's like I can feel whether or not I want to rock with you.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, just based on just the way you move.
Just observing.
Yeah.
So in the industry, you never know who you're talking to.
Facts.
You never know who's listening. Like who else is in the room.
Yeah.
Like I've had conversations with, so this summer I have an intern and an assistant. I've had conversations with artists with him in the room.
Yeah.
For a reason, right? I want him to learn how to have these conversations with artists.
Yeah.
Right? But they didn't know unless I told them.
Facts.
Right? I've had FaceTimes right here on this giant screen. And he sat on that side of the room. They didn't know he was in here.
Yeah.
You know, same thing. There's a reason. But I told them, but you never know who's listening.
Yeah.
Right.
You never know where that story you tell, where it goes.
Yeah, facts.
Right? So there's that side of it. But there's also, like, just don't be an asshole. Man.
Yeah, man.
You know, like, online, like, talk to your fans and your listeners, like, and the other people that, you know, that are in the business.
Yeah.
You know, just like you talk to people in person a certain way.
Yeah.
You know, like, just don't be a dick.
Nah, for real.
You know, and for me, even when I'm online, like, I'm a very, like, passionate person when it comes to opinions.
Me too.
And when it comes to music, especially.
Yes, sir.
And the culture and the legacy. Because this is all we have.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right? So as we go, and I had a conversation with an artist the other night, and I was like, because she asked me why I wanted to work with her. And I told her, there are artists that I believe in that I believe they will maintain the culture
Yeah.
and elevate the art.
For sure.
And those are the ones I want to work with.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that I pour into.
Yeah.
You know, like everybody else can pay me. Right? But it's some artists, I'm like, yo, I got you. We good. Like, I'm going to take care of you.
Understood.
You know? And that's just the way I look at it, man. Like, so, you know, just be, you know, just don't be an asshole.
Yeah, man.
It's like, they say you know, catch more flies with
honey.
shit, bees with honey. Whatever.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
That shit is real.
It's very, very true.
Yes, sir.
And it will not take you long before people stop rolling with you.
It's like a saying. They say the people you fuck over on the way up,
Same ones you see on the way down.
then the same people gonna see on the way down. You had to kiss their ass to get. So you might as well.
And by the time you on your way down, they gonna be higher up.
Ooh wee.
Yep.
You know, you think about that.
Telling you, man.
So,
I'm telling you. So, what's some of the best advice you received on this journey? And it was a two-part question. What's some of the best advice you received on your journey, and what's some of the best advice you can offer to an artist or engineer trying to become, you know, be part of the industry? Yeah.
don't. You'll never be in my spot.
Yes, sir.
But no, I mean, I think I just gave one piece of it, right? That's the best advice I got.
Yeah.
And the first piece of advice I'll give anybody.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I was interning at a studio in Philly, and I had an opportunity to go do a test session with James Poyser.
Okay.
And who was also another friend of mine.
Yeah.
And I was hesitant to go because I was like, well, I'm working here. We're working on this project, da-da-da-da-da. And one of my friends that was producing the project, he was like, there's no loyalty in the industry.
None.
And there's no longevity in one place. Like, so he wasn't talking about personal relationships. He was talking about within the business side of it, within the studios, right? You're not attached to this particular studio for you don't sign a contract with them. Right. It's not like you sign a contract with a label.
Yeah.
So he was like, there's no loyalty in this industry. Go where the check is.
Yeah.
And even though I did that session with James, it didn't work out. James's room was in the back of the same studio where the Roots worked. Fat Joe had done some work down there. Larry Gold, who owned the studio, was a string arranger for MFSB.
Yeah.
Cello player. And it was his studio, so he did strings for everybody. You know, so it's like, this is the big studio in the city.
Yeah.
And I met Larry before I went to Full Sail because I went to go to a session Bilal did, actually the session he did for Sometimes.
Yeah.
Where he cut that. And I was hanging out with him, and I think I left for Full Sail like the week after. But I met Larry and was telling him I was going to Full Sail and so forth. And he was like, when you come back, let me know. I'll get you, you can have a job.
Yeah.
So, Larry Gold is instrumental in who I am and how I got here. But I wound up, doing the session with James, getting seen by, re-seen by Larry and some of the other people in the studio, and then wound up actually taking a job over there. And that was some of the best advice I got too.
Got you.
I had a ton of advice. People, told me a lot of stuff I can't remember. But, as far as what I can offer, just learn who you are and be authentic. Yeah. Learn what sets you apart. Right? Yeah. Everybody has a specific way that, for me as a mixer, they mix. Like I see the visual. Yeah. There's a record that was just released yesterday by this artist, Artie and Linnell. It's called Hot Grease. It's dope. I love it. It was the first record I mixed for her. And I could hear the story in it and see it. Yeah. I saw exactly where this took place. I saw certain parts of the song where it's almost like a haunting feeling. And I was able to sonically make that happen. Like my job to me is being a bridge from the artist's heart and their feelings and emotions and the listener's ear so that they feel the same thing that the artist feels. Yes, sir. Right? And so it goes way beyond balancing. But for me, I see the movie. And my job, that's the second part of my job, is to put you in my seat. Yeah. You need to see the same thing I see. Right? So when I see or I hear this haunting section and I do certain things to it, I'm doing that to put you in that place and to build that tension. So figure out what it is. And it's funny because I was having this conversation with Carvin when I was in Philly last month or in June. And, he's kind of the one that put me onto what I'm getting ready to say. And it's find your niche. Yeah. Find what it is that you do really well, what makes you you. Yeah. Because as a mix engineer, people are coming to you for your taste. Right? Technical is nothing. Anybody can make all the levels match and not distort. Yeah. Right? But it's your taste that people come to you for, right? Can you make 808 shake a room? Yeah. Yes, I can. But that's what people want you to do. Yeah. They're gonna come to you for that. That's what they want on their record. They're gonna come to you for that. If they want pristine vocals, vocal blends, they're gonna come to you for that. Right? That's what's gonna make you who you are. But you have to find that and own it. Yeah. And that's everything in life. That's not just in doing what I do. Yeah. But to be successful, that's the biggest part of it. You don't try to be, some of these other big name, mixers that, that are in like the conversational circles, right? Like, all the emerging mix engineers or students, they all look up to, certain people. And from there, they pattern their style off of everything that they do. Yeah. Well, that's not your style. Yeah. You're a clone. It's like everybody when Dilla passed Rest His Soul, like everybody wanted to make Dilla beats. That's a fact. You can't make Dilla beats. The only person that can make Dilla beats is Dilla. Yeah. And that's why I say, I made the joke, like when someone wants to be in my seat, you'll never be in. Yeah. Me. Yeah. Because I can sit with you, I can sit with both of y'all right now and go through this mix. I can mix a whole record, right? And we can broadcast it and everything else. And I can show you every step of the way, which plug in, the settings, everything. And you can go and try to mix that record and you won't match it. That's a fact. You know why? Because you won't know why I made the decisions that I made. Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, so and that you talk about gatekeeping. I don't gatekeep.
Yeah.
Now I am selective in the people that I share. I'll share with anybody.
Yeah.
I'm selective in the people in how much I share with certain people.
Right.
Right. But if you ask me my opinion on something or how to do something,
Yeah.
or you know this particular thing about the industry or whatever, I'll share it with you.
Yeah.
I'll sit and talk with you all day long. If I like you, if I like your energy, if I feel like you're you know going to be progressive in it, I will sit with you and give you the whole playbook. But if you're just like, I'm just trying to get something,
Yeah.
you know, I'm just trying to get a bag, I'm just trying to get, you know, I just want to be famous, you know, whatever it is that I don't like about you,
Yeah.
I just be like, yeah, you do this, this, and this. You know, like I will walk you through. Like if you don't know how to register your music with ASCAP or BMI, you know, PRO.
Yeah.
If I don't really fool with you,
Yeah.
maybe like, yeah, just go to the website, you know, sign up. There's as an artist, a writer.
Get the quick short answer.
Yeah, you know, go through that. But if it's somebody, if I really like you,
Yeah.
yo, call me or come sit with me and we'll do it right now.
Facts.
You know, I'll go through it with you, screen share, whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, and then I'll help you with everything else. Like that's just the way I am.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
You know, so
That's dope, bro. So what was like? I feel like every artist or every I'm not gonna separate audio engineering because all this shit is you being an artist, bro. This Pro Tools right here, that's a fucking canvas, bro. So like, I'm not gonna separate us. What is like the most?
I appreciate that because there are a lot of people that look at us as like
just the technical. No. You got to really be able to feel the music, understand where the music is going. You got because that's honestly my favorite process. I hate recording. My favorite process is sitting there watching the mix engineer do what the fuck he do, make me sound good. Like you know what I'm saying? I love that. What's been the most impactful moment so far in your career? It can be in the industry or just something that just translated through life. Period.
Man, it's so many. Like the Grammy stuff was cool. It wasn't until I realized that I didn't have a plan after that.
Yeah.
That that hurt. But man, that has some impact, right? But so Music was doing the remix for Don't Change, so they called in Ron Isley, and Ron came in, and I mean, man, like when you talk about like amazing, so Ron comes in, cool as shit, like straight, like Ron literally is Mr. Big.
Yeah, I'm already knowing.
Like without all the the extraness that was in the video, like he's just that cool.
Yeah,
you know, like the way that he talks. Like that tone that you hear him, that's who he is. Like all his conversations are like it's him in that same, I'm just that, that. Like, that's who he is, right? So he comes in, and so the Don't Change remix essentially interpolates "Hello, It's Me."
Yeah.
I forget the name of the record now, but that's because that's not the. I don't think that's the name of the record, but so we had him do pretty much half of Music's verse. I think there was some stuff that Carvin changed, but for the most part, it was his record.
Yeah.
So he comes in and he goes through the stuff, and he's like, all right, cool. Goes in and cuts it. I'm sitting there. Music is in the room. Carvin's in the room. I think Ivan was in the room too. And we go down one time, and we all just look at each other like, shit.
Yeah.
What do we do now?
Yeah.
Because like the first take, he killed it.
Yeah.
So I think we did like 2 more just for safety. And then like we sat and talked for maybe an hour, and he was like, all right, I'm out.
That sounds like a cool OG, man.
That was cool. There was a day that I was in the studio, and I was just, so I wound up becoming Carvin and Ivan's in-house engineer.
Yeah.
I worked with them for like 2 years, or a year and a half, something like that. But I was sitting in the studio one day, and I think I was just like going through cleaning up drives or something. And Music comes in. He's like, hey, I need you to pull this session up. I'm like, all right, cool. So I pulled the Pro Tools file up, and I don't know what's going on. Right? So it's a remake. Ivan had redone Visions by Stevie Wonder. So Music goes in. We cut this on. Carvin's not here. Ivan's not in the back. Like, there's nobody else in the room. It's just me and him. And so he comes out, and I'm like, yo, what is this for? And he was like, I don't know, some Stevie Wonder thing. And I was like, word. So come to find out, when everything was done, and the album was released, it was a tribute album to Stevie. So like it was a lot of artists that covered Stevie's records.
Yeah.
Mark Anthony's on it, India Arie is on it, Eric Clapton is on it, so many people. Andy Stone is on it, right? And
rest in peace, man.
Yeah, for sure. And it was just a moment for me that was like, I have been able to say thank you to probably my favorite artist ever. Like past, present, and future.
Yeah.
Right? And it was dope. Nobody bought the record, which kind of pissed me off. But like, it was because I was like, yo, I can't wait to have a plaque for this. And
for sure.
Like, nah, like nobody knew about it.
That's crazy.
I know one person that bought it, and it's funny because she kind of stalked me online for a little while, and then like we were talking about some stuff, and she was like, yeah, you worked on this, and you worked on that, and you worked on Conception. And I was like, did you Google me?
That's crazy.
She was like, yeah, but I love that album. And I was like, she's like, I still have my copy. And I was like, you actually bought it? And the next thing I know, she sends me a picture, and it's sitting, like, it's the cover.
That's fire.
Like the whole CD. And I'm just like, oh my God, you are like, we are friends forever.
Yeah, oh God, that's hard.
So
man.
there was that, and I think the end of that story, I was at NAMM last year. And so Stevie Wonder walks around. NAMM is like this big convention in Anaheim where it's like all the software developers and musical instrument makers, they all come together, and you know, it's a trade show essentially. Yeah. And but Stevie walks around NAMM like the king. Like he's like Jesus. Like he hits the floor, the exhibit floor. Yeah. And you start seeing like this sea of people that just follows him. Yeah. Right? Because you know they got a bubble around him. So he's walking from he's looking at this synthesizer, these harmonicas, this, that, right? And he's just collecting bodies behind him. So, like, he's literally like Jesus. And so, a friend of mine, it was crazy because this particular day, it was the end of the day, and a friend of mine, Gerald, he was, we were both waiting. And Stevie was over somewhere. Yeah. And I'm like, not far, because I'm starting to peep where security, like how security's moving. Because they're clearing before. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to go stand over here because Stevie's going to be right there. Yeah. Right? All I want to do is shake Stevie's hand. I'm not even worried about getting a picture with him. Like, it would be cool. Yeah. But it's just like, I just want to be like, yo, thank you so much. Yeah. And, I stood over there and I was sitting waiting, and I'm watching everybody else, like more people. Oh my God, that's Stevie Wonder. And I was just like, yo, this is just a man, and he want to see the same stuff that we do. You know, he's doing the same thing that we doing. And I bounced. I told my homie, I was like, yo, I'm out. 10 minutes later, this dude sends me a picture of him and Stevie.
That's crazy.
So I was hot, man. So like the next day was the last day of the show, and we were standing around talking in the hallway. And there's a bridge between the two sides of the Anaheim Convention Center. And so we're on the far side, and Stevie starts walking down the hall. Yeah. And he was like, yo, there goes Stevie. That's your chance. And I was like, nah, I'm good, man. If it's supposed to happen, it'll happen. Like, whatever, it's cool. Yeah. And Stevie came down. There might have been 12 people behind him instead of like 100. And I was like, well, shit, maybe this is it. Yeah. Because like everybody talking shit to me. It's like, yo, you want to sit there? Thanks. And I was like, all right, maybe this is it. Hold my bag. Yeah. So I walk over there and I'm getting my camera together. And I'm talking to one of his handlers. I'm like, yo, I worked on this record. I did this cover. I really just like to say thank you. Yeah. And he was like that, and handing me his phone. He was like, "Go ahead." And I'm standing there shaking. Worst picture of my this one. The picture with me is me, Jazzy Jeff, and Questlove. I look high. It was like 3 a.m. Yeah, shit. Yeah. But I look high as hell in that picture. That's a horrible picture. But then this picture with Stevie, because the guy was taking the pictures. Yeah. Because they trying to, everybody's trying to get a picture, and they just quick with it. Thanks. So I'm like in mid, like, oh my God, like I can't even. My smile's not even straight. Yeah. Right? And I'm just like, eh. So he takes his picture, but he's like, yo, tell him what you did. So I'm like holding Stevie's hand in this picture, and I'm like, I cut music's vocals on Fishness for the Conception album. And I'm like really grateful that I was able to do that. Because, you've been very instrumental in my life. And you know what this man said to me?
What'd he say?
Thank you. You did great work.
That's hard, bro.
Hey, you don't even have to make it to Charlotte now.
That's hard.
You know what I mean?
That's dope.
So that was probably one, and then the last one is I've been a fan of the Roots since 10th grade.
Yeah.
I was standing across the street from high school. We had like a little corner store bodega type thing.
For sure.
But they served breakfast, and like I had a little counter in there. So I ordered breakfast, and I'm like going to get, I don't know, probably some donut sticks and a Mountain Dew or some unhealthy breakfast shit that you eat in high school.
Yeah.
And a friend of mine walks up behind me and puts his headphones on, and all I hear is this laugh. And I'm like, yo, first off, who the hell just walked up behind me?
Yeah.
But he's like, no, just listen. You got to listen to this. So he puts them back on, and it's this laugh. And it is the most amazing thing that I've ever heard. It turned out to be Distortion of Static. I was hooked.
Yeah.
The Roots were doing something that nobody had ever done in the history of hip hop.
Yeah.
And like my guy Kilo, Kilo's my big brother, and Kilo was he produced a lot of the Root stuff.
Okay.
And Distortion of Static was one of his joints, and I don't know if I've ever told him the story, but like from that moment on, like you could not get me away from a Roots record.
Yeah.
They did an in-store. So I used to see Amir around the city because Amir would, just come like open mics and stuff sometimes and play. And then like every once in a while, him, Tariq, and Hub would come, like we would be as like something, and like they would come and just do like a little performance, like three of them. So there was an in-store for Things Fall Apart. And I'm in line, but at this point I'm DJing, I'm getting serviced by MCA. Things Fall Apart was released on MCA. This is like the period where like they had Raucous, and Common's record, and Kweli I think came out on. There was a bunch of stuff, right? They were making moves, and I had copies of Adrenaline, 12 inches. So I brought one with me. So I got there super early, me and my homie Sticks, and got there super early, front of the line. We were probably like 6th or 7th in line. So, I go up, go through the thing, Mirror draws his little character on it, and then there, Tariq, does his thing on it. I'm like, yo, bet, I'm good. Done. Leave, right? I think Things Fall Apart was maybe, I don't remember when Things Fall Apart came out. I think it was 99.
Yeah.
So a couple years later, I'm working at the studio, and I'm in a session, and Dice comes in the room, and he's like, yo, come here for a second. So we walk back around to the back lounge, and they're going through some videotapes. And Dice goes, nigga, is that you? So, like, all that to say, working on the Phrenology album, which, like I said, I wanted to work on a Roots record. That was one of my goals. That was probably one of those like top 3 moments for me. Like, and I'm all over that record. I cut Music's vocals on Break You Off. I assisted on like The Seed, which is one of my favorite songs on that record. I can't remember the name of it, but the record with Jill that they have, I assisted on that. There's a whole funny story about that and me and Jill in that session, but I won't share that one. But that was a highlight for me, man.
That's dope, man.
That was my first gold record, my first single too.
Oh, that's hard. That's dope as hell. And it's like with people you actually want to work with, so they actually get a gold record. That's fire.
I was really blessed to, aside from like Justin, I was really blessed to work with people that I admired for a very long time. Yeah. Justin, I didn't really get into NSYNC until, I don't know, whatever that I guess it was their last album when they like the puppets.
Yeah, I remember that. For sure.
And that was probably because of Amir. He was really pushing that record hard.
Yeah.
And I went and listened to it. And I was like, yo, this is dope. I bought it. And I was like, yo, because like anything that he says is good.
Yeah.
Give me 2 of them, right? And so yeah, by the time we did Justin's record, which we were in the studio one night and he played the entire album for us. And it was just like, this shit is amazing.
And that was the first one he dropped, right?
The first one.
Ooh, wee.
Oh shit. He was like, yeah, Neptune's at these joints. He played like Senorita for us.
Classic.
And that shit turned all the way up. It was like, oh my God. And you gotta think, we in a studio with, Osbergers on the wall and like we running it on that. Like playback and the whole room is shaking.
Yeah.
And it was just like, oh my God. And then when the drums dropped in, it was like, damn. Yeah. And then that just led the whole thing. And it was just like the whole rest of the album, it was crazy. So we heard it. And I was living with it, and like in my head, and I was like, I would just find myself like weeks later, just like humming one of the songs. Like I heard it, the album's not out, it's not, it's not done. But yeah, that was a dope moment. Like,
so let's piggyback off that. So who was some of your favorite artists and favorite projects that you worked on?
I think I just gave them to you.
Those are literally?
Yeah.
Literally?
Those are like Justin's project. Justin is super cool. Like we sat I remember sitting in the lounge for that studio, that suite, that room that we were in, and playing Xbox or not. It was Spider-Man, so it was on PlayStation.
Okay. Yeah.
Playing Spider-Man with him.
That was, I do remember that.
Yeah. And the guitar player that did Half Crazy was teaching him how to play it on guitar. It was just like super cool.
That's dope.
I did do some work with Mariah. She was dope. Like Mariah is not what people think she is.
Yeah.
Mariah is super sweet and down to earth. Mm-hmm. Who else? I got to work with Carl Thomas, who was dope. It was just a little bit of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Like, and Leela James, like, she don't get the credit she deserves. I really, 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 really wish more people like knew who Leela was and appreciated her, because she's an incredible artist and a beautiful person. And that was the first project I worked on.
That's fire.
And that record is still very important to me today. And she's probably one of my favorites too.
Gotcha.
Actually, not probably. She is one of my favorites.
For sure. So, yeah, man.
I wish she responded to my DMs though. Like forever.
Miss Leela, get back at the man Ray, man. Oh God.
Ray for looking for you. Like,
where you at?
All right, man. So look, we created Kill the Comment section because we feel like I feel like the internet has done certain things in our culture. So what I want to ask you right now, what do you feel about the state of the culture? And do you think it's in a good place or a place where it's kind of like you got your bad shit over here, your good shit over here, or do you feel like it's getting ready to progress and get better?
So Most Def, Yasin, he said that the music's going to reflect where we are as a culture.
Yeah.
And the culture will reflect where we are musically.
For sure.
Right. I think that, and when you sit and you really consider it, the culture is fine, right? We have outliers, but overall the culture is fine. I think that and the reason why I say that is because we have people like myself that are making sure that it stays alive.
For sure.
That that quality and integrity and talent and skill and philosophy and motivation and independence and the adaptability, like all of those things still exist.
Yeah.
I had a conversation with Ivan a couple of years ago and he was like, adapt or die. And that stuck with me. So yeah, like you have these individuals and they're not just like, internet gurus or, somebody that wakes up and is like, oh, I'm going to be manager today.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to start managing artists. Like these are legends, right? That, are sharing who they are. I've had people call me a legend and I always dismiss it. But I also have to look, and this is when I say, like, I'm learning how to talk my shit, that, like, my musical lineage, my mom used to always say eagles don't fly with pigeons.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So these are people that have shared so much of themselves and their knowledge and experience and their spaces, even, right? Doing the same thing that I do, finding somebody that you see something in and bringing them into your fold. My intern for the summer, like, I told him, I was like, whatever you need, call me. You're good. If you're in Charlotte, because he's going into a senior year at Clark. If you're in Charlotte, you don't have to ask if you can come to the studio.
Yeah.
Yo, you in today? Yep. All right, I'll be there in 20 minutes.
For sure.
Yeah. You know, if you want to learn how to do something, call me. If you need to learn something about the business, call me.
Yeah.
I'm here, like, forever. Like, you're not getting away from me.
Yeah.
Period. And I'm going to call and check on you and make sure you're doing the shit you need to be doing. Right. And that's on a personal level and a professional level.
Right.
And all of those individuals that I've worked with have done that. And there's so many more out there at our level and their level. Because I will never consider myself a peer with Jazzy Jeff.
For sure.
I've admired Jeff my entire freaking life. And Jeff is not, even though we know each other, and I've been to his house, right?
Yeah.
And he's interrupted conversations with people far more superior musically or creatively than I am to greet me.
Yeah.
Right? And I wasn't even walking toward him. I was walking to somebody else. I will never consider him a peer. Just like Kilo, who's like I said, my big brother.
Understood.
Like, you know, he's been a huge part of my life.
Yeah.
Since he's the reason why I'm still here. Right? And why I am who I am now.
Yeah.
Right? Carvin and Ivan, they will never be my peers.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not on the same level as they are.
For sure.
Right? And it's not just like a hierarchy. It's like, I'm learning from you.
Yeah.
How can I be your peer if I'm learning how to do something from you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, now, granted, there's always learning to be done, but I am learning so much from you.
Yeah.
Like, Carvin and Ivan, they shaped me as an engineer. You know, I walked in the session the first day, and Carvin was like, "All right, I'm going to the bathroom. Fly this hook, and I'll be back." You know.
Yeah.
Looking at the joint and playing the record, and I'm like, "All right, so where's this hook got to go?" And I copy it, and I'm dragging it over. I make a copy, and I'm dragging it over, and I'm like, "Okay, well, it don't fit there." I drag it a little bit, I nudge it, I drag it some more, I nudge it back the other way. I'm trying to line it up, right? And Carv comes back 10, 15 minutes later. He's like, "What the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
You ain't done yet?" And I was like, "No, I'm almost there." He was like, "Move." He deleted what I was doing, put the record in grid mode, copied the 8 bars, moved them over, pasted it. It was like, "There you go."
Damn.
So, like, he and Ivan is like, so Carvin taught me essentially how to mix vocals.
Yeah.
Like, Carvin is, in my opinion, hands down, the best vocal arranger in the entire industry. At least as R&B is concerned.
For sure.
R&B, neo soul. But he taught me how to mix vocals. Ivan taught me how to mix drums. You know, and those guys, I'll never be their peer.
Yeah.
So it just becomes this thing where as these individuals continue to pour into people like me, and I continue to pour into people like my intern, and he continues to pour into people like whoever he brings in or, meets or whatever the case is, and even the artists that I work with, the culture be fine.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
But you're always gonna have those outliers that are like, I don't give a shit. I'm just trying to get a bag.
That's a fact.
I just want to put I just want to make, songs and put them on Spotify. That's cool.
Fact.
There's space for them too.
I'm not gonna lie. I feel like I think it's an oversaturation of that right now. People really don't give a damn about what they saying, what they putting out. It's like, I know I can get me a bag with doing this, and that's all I care about. They don't really care about learning the history of this shit. And honestly, I feel like social media kind of killed the superstar. So we were talking about this earlier. Do you think Michael Jackson will be able to survive in 2025?
No.
And why is that?
This is a very controversial opinion. I feel like And I'm not gonna say that he would do the unthinkable, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like as bad as we as a society were, and I say we because everybody has some shit to say about Mike.
That's a fact.
At some point in time.
Yep.
Right? It wasn't just the, the whole the trial and all of that stuff, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's got records like Why You Want to Trip on Me. He's got records like Leave Me Alone.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And if you look at the video for Leave Me Alone, it's news clippings and it's talking about his monkey and hanging out with Macaulay Culkin and
all of them real, by the way.
Right,
Mm-hmm.
right. But like, so if we're doing that in the 90s, and these are major journalism outlets.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you got every asshole on the internet with an opinion.
Understood. Hell
It
yeah.
out. Like now they got a platform.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is
really lay it on you.
Which is how we got our president,
For a fact.
right? Everybody has a platform to say whatever they want to say now.
Mm-hmm.
They would have smoked Mike.
Yeah, it would have been curtains.
And like I hate that because probably would have happened is he probably would have just backed away.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he would just be like, I'm good. I'm everything I gave y'all my entire life, my childhood, my adulthood.
Mm-hmm.
As much as I did, I shared so much of myself that I couldn't be private.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I had to show you my child. Even with a blanket on.
Yep.
I had to show you my child. Because that's what y'all wanted.
Yeah.
You wouldn't let me live.
Yeah.
Right? But he loved his fans too.
Yeah.
So I think that he would have got to a point where it's like, because he was very sensitive.
Yeah.
And as much as, he would try not to let things get to him, they did.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a self-esteem thing. When people just knock you down constantly, and then there's people you don't know, don't know anything about you, they all got something to say.
Facts.
Yeah, I think he would have just been like, yeah, I'm good.
Yep.
Understood.
And been living, on some remote island by himself with his, maybe his kids with him and, his mom, and just chilling.
Yep.
That's
when we
what's
get into the mental health side of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's real. Like,
So how do you feel like the industry affects your mental health? Like when it comes to, because everything is not for certain. Everything, it can really take a turn at any time. So how do you deal with that? We'll wrap it up after this.
It's, I think, so for me, I am very cognizant of my mental health.
Okay.
And I have been for years. I've been at shows or festivals or around peers.
Mm-hmm.
And, or, watched like the Grammys or, something else and see people I know and came up with, and I get upset. I get sad, right? Because I'm like, damn, that should have been me. I haven't been in an industry town since I was in Atlanta in like 2007.
Yeah.
Right? So everything I've done since then, I've had to do on my own.
Yeah.
Right? When I was moving to Denver, I reached out to some studios and the guy had a studio in his house, which I didn't realize. Beautiful space. And, I was like, hey, I'm open to assisting or whatever. And he was like, man, I wish I could hire you. Your resume looks great. But, I just have a small room in my house.
Yeah.
And he said, but one word of advice I'll give you is when you get a job here, stay there. He was like, they're very hard to come by here in Denver because there are very few studios.
Yeah.
And, he was like, guys pretty much die in their chairs.
Damn.
They don't quit. They don't leave. So, like I said, that was a really hard time for me because like a lot of my friends were winning Grammys.
Yeah.
They were on records that were topping charts, 3 times platinum, stuff like that. And I'm just sitting here in Denver, cold, and all this damn snow. Like, shit, I should be there.
Man.
And I'm getting up the next morning shoveling snow so I can drive to my IT job. You know what I mean? And that hurt a lot.
Yeah.
And I there were points in time where I would go back to Philly and, try to catch up with people that I worked with or, I'm friends with and things like that. And it was like, all right, I'll see if I got some time. And it's like, dog, like I thought we were better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And but the thing I realized in those situations, and then talking about wife, because I called her, I was like, yo, there was a time that I went. I think it was the first Roots picnic I went to. Well, in the past few years, like 2 years ago. And I was just really, really hurt because like I was like, all right, I'm gonna go. Show is bomb. I'm gonna go connect with this, right?
Yeah.
And everybody was like, yo, bet, come through, da 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 da. And everybody thought I had credentials. I didn't.
Yeah.
So I couldn't get to the back.
Damn.
So I'm like, all right, well, let me know when you out front. Mm-hmm. Reception's trash because it's a festival and you got 9,000 people all in the same spot.
Yeah.
It's so many people that you can't find the person you're looking for. Mm-hmm. And I think that was the year that Usher was on it. It was supposed to be Diddy, and then Usher wound up doing it. And Usher's on stage, and I just seen him in Dreamville. Usher's on stage, and I'm damn near crying because The Weeknd to me was a failure. I didn't go necessarily because I wanted to see the show. Right. The lineup was great. Seeing the show that year for me was a perk. Yeah. Right. I was going that year to reconnect. Yeah. Right. And I realized that distance and lack of visibility, it leads to these fissures in your relationships with people. Mm-hmm. The world still moves on. Yeah. You move away, they still got to get up every morning and go to work. Yeah. Right? They still got to live. Right. They start to meet new people. Mm-hmm. Right? Their relationships with those people grow. It's not necessarily if they're not thinking about you, but you're much less of a priority than you were when, they saw you twice a week. Bro. Yeah. Right? Trust and believe. Yeah. And that's something that happens in all of our friendships and relationships. So that was a hard thing for me, like when you talk about mental health. But like now, with that mindset shift that I was telling you about, yeah, I don't have, and even when I kind of came back into it, right, as a mixer, because I took some time off, and years, like I said, I was in Denver for a while. I struggle with the fact that I'm competing with 20-year-olds. Yeah. Right? Like, they're where I was. Yeah. And I'm where they are right now, trying to get these clients. They don't have shit to do. They have no responsibility. They ain't got no kids. Yeah. They don't have a mortgage. Yeah. You know what I mean? They can be in the studio 23 hours, 7 days a week. Yeah. And I'm like, damn, I got to get up and go to work. Because I do have a day job still. Yeah. Right? Mm-hmm. Like, I can't just dedicate all day and all night to mixing. Yeah. And that affected me a lot. So when, that mindset shift kind of got me to the point where it was like, you're not competing with them. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Those aren't your clients. Yep. Right? People come to me, like I said, they come to you for taste. First record I mixed in the past couple of years, artists came to me because of the whole neo soul stuff that I worked on. Yeah. Second record, it was this incredible artist named D. Ave. And Dave, if you're watching, I'm waiting on the second project. But he sent me his project because Joe was his favorite singer. Yeah. And he was like, you work with Joe, I want you to mix my record. Bet. Right? Yeah. Dave sounds like Donnell Jones. I was trying to get him any possible opportunity because there was such a gap, yeah, right, for that sound and for what he wrote and just his performance style. And but man, so like people come to you for your taste. Your clients come to you because of who you are and what you do. Yeah. Like every record that you mix is going to be different. Right. And it's going to, but it's also going to reflect how you hear music. For sure. Right? Mm-hmm. Like I said, if you wanted to bang, you know who to call. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right? Facts. Yeah. So once I realized that, Then it was, the confidence issue.
Yeah.
Everybody has imposter syndrome.
Man.
At some point in time, right?
Yeah.
And I finally got to a point where I realized how good I was. I needed validation from so many people on mixes for a long time. I play them for my wife. I play them for, my kids. They always say, play your song for your kids because they're going to tell you if it's hot or not.
Yeah.
Right? I play it for other people in the industry. I play it for people that used to be in the industry. I play it for my partner, Chris. I play it for just anybody that would listen to it.
Yeah.
Like, I was like Kanye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that shit that they say about Kanye jumping on the consoles and shit.
For sure.
When Jesus walks.
Yeah.
I saw it firsthand. Like, I've literally seen that shit. And we were working on Leela's project. And I got to a point, and I had a lot of friends help me with this. Leslie being one of them, Gerald being one of them, Era being one of them, Bird being one of them. I love all of y'all, man. And it was just like, yo, stop looking for validation.
Yeah.
You're good at what you do.
Yep.
Just keep doing it.
Yeah.
Do it and keep owning it.
And now I have moments where I'll finish a mix because I'll be a little worried halfway through, but then it all starts to come together.
Yeah.
Mentally, and I'm able to put it all down.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, I'll sit back, sub going, speakers going. I just sit back in this chair and I'm listening and I'm watching the screen and the thing go by and the shit will be done. And I'd be like, I'm good at this shit.
Nah, facts.
You know what I mean?
Facts.
And it's like I get to that. I'm at that point now where it's like, yo, I'm confident in myself and in my work, right? In a way that is because I was always confident in my competence,
right?
Now I'm confident in my talent, my ability, right? There's a difference there. Confident in your competence means, all right, I can do this.
Yeah.
I can manage the basic expectations of this job.
Facts.
When you start to be confident in your talent, in your ability, then that means you become confident in what you've done and how you do it.
Yeah.
And that only grows.
Yep.
Confident in your competence, that stops.
Yeah.
You hit a wall. You hit a ceiling on that. Confidence in your ability continues to grow because every day you do something different, you get better at it. That's why they say it takes 100,000 hours.
Yeah.
Tyrese Maxey, one of my favorite ball players now. 1% better every year.
Yeah.
That's all he asks for. How do you do that?
You gotta keep working at it.
Repetition.
For sure.
Kobe. End of practice. He's in there another hour shooting, 3-second jumpers.
Yep.
Why? Because at the end of the game, they're going to pass Kobe the ball with 3 seconds left.
With 3 trainers with full contact at that 3 seconds.
Right.
He's simulating real game activity.
Right. But when he gets that ball, he's got the confidence in his ability.
For sure.
To take that shot.
Yeah.
And 99% of the time,
that bitch going in.
Yep.
That's a fact.
So that's how I manage my mental health, man. And just a work-life balance, like, trying to spend as much time with, family as possible.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, what are you really doing?
Yeah. For a fact.
Right. Like, where are you really headed?
Yeah.
And that's the hard part.
Yes, sir. What's the name? So, before we get out here, man, I just want to thank you, not just for being a guest, but this conversation. Particularly, I'm gonna say the whole conversation, but particularly this last part, I needed to hear that. Because I found myself in the same kind of position in the last 2 years. Literally, North Carolina has this festival for the last 5 years. And for the last 2 years, people have been hearing a hook on stage and don't even know I had anything to do with it. So that has, like, I'm literally, bro, see people that we went to school with.
Yeah.
This song is playing on their story, and I'm just like, bro, they knew me in high school and knew I wanted to do this, but they have no idea that I had anything to do with that. So that just having that and just listening to that, man, it kind of brought a lot of things to perspective. So I want to thank you for that.
Yeah.
I also want to thank you for your time and for pulling up on us, man. For letting us pull up on you because it's his space. You know what I'm saying? So
scenery. So
yeah, man, I appreciate this, man. We definitely have to do a part 2, bro, because I feel like we ain't even scratched the surface, bro. So
there's a whole nother like hour and a half that I could just
yeah, it's fair. So we definitely gonna have that for y'all, man. But again, man, I appreciate you, OG.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. I look forward to working with you soon.
Absolutely.
But yeah, man, we signing out.
ASP.
And it's your boy Cody from the Lit, man. And this was Kill the Comment Section. Yeah, man. That was good, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
Damn.
For sure.